Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk to you about the 3 top mistakes I see when people are writing a Warhammer 40K army list. So I'm Stephen from Vanguard Tactics, and it's my mission to help you become a better 40k player. So let's dive into these top 3 mistakes. Number 1 mistake I see from people writing a list is that they try and put in too many battalions, too many things to basically get them command points. But what they're failing to realise is that they don't have the powerful units to really maximise that potential. So yes, you might be starting off with 20 command points, but if you've only got fire warriors to use them, it's not really going to be particularly effective. So what I would kind of advise you to do is make sure you plan out the stratagems that you want to use and how many times you want to use them realistically. So yes, it might be your idea to shoot your obliterators twice every single turn for 6 turns of the game, but in reality you're probably not going to need to, because you might have had them in deep strike, so they might not come down till turn 2 or 3, they might die after 2 turns, so therefore you're not going to need 12 CPs put aside to fire twice with your obliterators. Maybe 4 is enough. And then that allows you to pair in other more powerful stratagems for when you do that. Just make sure that in your list you've got plenty of powerful units and the command points just to keep them running as hot as you possibly can. Now, you're not going to be able to cover all of them, so you need to pick and choose. The second mistake I see people make when it comes to writing a list is that they put in too many buffing units, and this is very similar to having too many command points. They're running too many captains or lieutenants or whatever it might be for +1s to hit or rerolls, and they're trying to buff up too many units, and across the game actually what they realise is that they should have spent more points on actual weapons or units that can destroy or can hold objectives, rather than just buffing characters. You can have so many psychic powers on the table to buff all your units, but if none of them are really very powerful because you've spent all the points on the buffing units, then you're not really going to achieve much. For example, you might go down the Eldar route and have, for example, a stratagem so that your Guardians hit on 2s, so that they reroll misses, so that they reroll failed wounds, so that they get a -1 to their AP of their weapon, but they can only shoot things within 12 inches, so that might only happen once, and because they're so fragile, they'll probably die the turn after. So you just want to make sure that the buffs that you're putting onto a unit are just enough to get the job done that you intended them for. So again, what you need to make sure that you're doing is allocating a task to each of your units and making sure that they're effectively carrying them out every single game. Mistake number 3 I see people make is a list tailored to beat their friend, and this is something that I see all the time. They are so used to playing a certain few select people at their club, or maybe their best friend, and what they're not doing is thinking about the wider meta. Okay, so they're not understanding what else is out there that they might need to face. So if you're just used to playing against Goblin and Gunline every single week, and you've created a list to beat that, well, when you play 4 Knights or when you play 120 Plague Bearers, the game's going to be very, very different. So your selection of units needs to change. You cannot just go for what you think wins you every single tournament at your club. You need to be thinking much wider than that. So mistake number 4. Now this is a bonus one, and this is something that I'm going to cover in more detail on the mentorship program. So in that, mistake is going to be not tailoring a list to the mission pack. So there are so many different ones, and on that mentorship I go into so much more detail on how you actually construct a list and avoiding all of the mistakes that we've then made so far. So mistake number 1, too many CPs. Mistake number 2, too many buffs. And mistake number 3, a tailored list just to beat your friend. What we go on to on the mentorship is actually how do you design the perfect list for you with the units that you've got, the meta that you play in, and how do you tailor it around the mission pack, and what should that look like going through it, but from right from HQ to heavy support to Lords of War detachments, and really going into it to a point where you know exactly what everything needs to do. So I hope this video helped. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in the mentorship program that VT run, then all you need to do is check out the link below.